the biggest news story to drop since our last live stream on Halloween Eve is, of course, this Debra Hill documentary that was recently announced. Officially announced on November 10th on what would have been her 73rd birthday, a brand new feature length documentary entitled Hollywood Trailblazer: The Debra Hill Story has moved into production with Causeway Pictures celebrating the late producer and co-writer of classic movies that include, of course, the original Halloween and The Fog, among others. Hollywood Trailblazer: The Debra Hill Story will be directed by Irish filmmakers Jim McMorrow and Margaret McGoldrick, with producers Margaret McGoldrick, Chris Patterson of Causeway Pictures, and Jamie Lee Curtis is among the executive producers. This was first reported by Deadline, and you can read our full article on it anytime at HalloweenDailyNews.com. But there are some additional quotes over at the Deadline article, including from the directors. So from that Deadline article, McMorrow says, quote, "The story of Debra Hill is a multifaceted one. She was and still is an inspiration to filmmakers across the globe, and her legacy as a formidable creative producer, mentor, trailblazer, and pioneer in cinema and environmental activism is an eternally relevant story. It is a privilege to bring this to the screen for all of us that she shaped through her life and work." End quote. And McGoldrick adds in the same article from Deadline, quote, "Jim and I have been blown away by the response to telling Deborah's story. Deborah was an incredible filmmaker and storyteller who not only excelled at her job, but did it with the love and respect of everyone around her. Her passion was infectious, and when women weren't getting the chance to lead the charge, Deborah was paving paths. She's an incredibly inspirational figure for anyone wanting to forge a career in the film industry, and I'm very honored to be a part of the team getting to tell her story." End quote. Talent involved in this documentary will include Jamie Lee Curtis, as we mentioned, in addition to John Carpenter and many others. Kim Gottlieb Walker, the great photographer, David Gordon Green, Terry Gilliam, and many others are going to be featured in this documentary. I mean, I've been thinking about Debra Hill a lot lately, since being around everybody at age 45 and all these guys that played Michael Myers, and then you think the very first one on screen, the very first one on screen is Michael. You can't understate. It's Debra Hill's hands picking up that knife in the kitchen. It's Debra Hill's hands who literally has the first kill. Not just the first on-screen Michael Myers, but Michael's first ever kill, the Judith kill, the one, the foundation for everything in every telling of this story. That can't be understated. But then, that's only just the tiniest piece of her story, if you really think about it. And even her story as it pertains to us here on Michael Myers Monday and with this franchise. I mean, not only was she producer of Halloween, she was co-writer. She was co-writer, she was co-creator. If John Carpenter is the father of all of this, and Mustafa Akkad is the godfather of all of this, Debra is absolutely 100% the mother of all of this. She is the mother of the shape of Michael Myers, of all of this. She wrote all of that dialogue for the girls, the high school girls. And not only that, she co-wrote Halloween 2 and Halloween 3 with Carpenter and The Fog, produced all of the above, and many others, including, Adventures in Babysitting. Many of you guys remember seeing that. So many other ones that she produced over the years, too. Clue, the adaptation of the classic game Clue, the Fisher King, World Trade Center. The Dead Zone, the original Stephen King adaptation. So, again, I'm super stoked for this. It's absolutely her story, I think, is intertwined with this franchise. Because those first three movies, I mean, those are, say what you want, but those 3. Those are the ones where Carpenter and Hill were still involved, and that's what it was at that time. It was Carpenter and Hill, and it was his name above everything, but it was, everybody got that it was the Carpenter Hill production again. And so I think it's pretty awesome this is happening. I think it's great that, of course, fitting that Jamie Lee is involved as a producer. And yeah, I can't wait to see this documentary when it's finally out. Um, and just really cool to see the mother of all of this, the mother of Silver Shamrock, the mother of Michael Myers and this franchise, um, getting recognized this way as a trailblazer, as it should be. I'm really stoked for this, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comments right now.